In the spring of 2020, the world changed and people of all ages were forced to adapt to a lifestyle that would keep us all safe from the virus we know as COVID-19. This global pandemic has greatly affected everyone, and no one was exempt from these changes. However, we decided to take a deeper look into how we youth specifically were impacted by the pandemic. We interviewed a few youth from a multicultural youth leadership organization called REAP, based in Portland, Oregon, to hear some stories of their transition into online education and their feelings on being isolated at home without their peers.
What I remember when school was shutting down due to COVID was that people were just panicking over everything that they needed in the stores, and they would just run around crazy basically.
Every day, we all had to process what was happening in the world and could only take one day at a time, not knowing what the next day would bring. Thousands of youth across the country not only had to give up their daily interactions with friends and loved ones, but the pandemic also compromised their extracurricular activities, graduation ceremonies, celebratory events, and learning styles. The sacrifice of these privileges soon led to lack of motivation for most youth in the virtual classroom settings.
What I felt was kind of sadness because I wasn't going to see all my friends. But at the same time, I thought when it happened that it was going to be easier because you got to stay home, boom, just wake up, open the computer and do schoolwork. But over the time, it started to get harder, and the assignments sometimes just started to pile up because you just lost motivation. It was hard to get motivation from anything.
When in-person school was canceled, it changed my life in a big way because going to school, I've always had a PE class in my schedule, so it'd be advanced weights or any type of weights. So not having that or not being able to do that I got too lazy, wasn't able to go work out or anything.
What was bad about it is we didn't actually get the full experience. We didn't get as much help as we needed because internet or it wasn't as good.
Without a doubt, the transition to this new virtual lifestyle revealed many challenges for us youth. Some face lack of resources like access to a guaranteed lunch every day, poor quality internet, outdated computers, or simply struggling with low motivation to study without the presence of a teacher to encourage them. Unfortunately, 2020 was not only met with the pandemic, but at the same time, the country experienced hundreds of protests for the Black Lives Matter movement that undoubtedly affected young African Americans.
There's people who really had their eyes open, people who were not of color. So I feel those people who really got more of an understanding, though it was more chaotic than we would expect. It was the last straw for us. So, things did happen and people were, more aware of the movement.
I'm glad that it kind of happened. I'm glad that people started to speak up and basically speak for themselves. Because if that wasn't, if that wasn't going to happen, then it would have been continuing. I don't think it affected me badly, but it did get motivation in me to start speaking what I had on my mind.
It was a great movement, loved it and stuff. I didn't really go out, go to those protests and stuff like that, but I did do my thing on social media, share my point and views and stuff like that.
The pandemic and the Black Lives Matter movement made 2020 a completely atypical year for all students. They had to assume new realities and responsibilities around the house that impacted the way they performed in online schooling for the good and the bad. With that said, it was important for our youth to express themselves to their educators.
For the teachers, I'd say you have to understand that some kids don't have a good household that they live in. So you gotta understand that some people can't do those 10s of 20 assignments that you post a day. So please understand that they're trying, and even if it doesn't look like they are, they really are.
It was hard. It was hard, like, not to, like, be there, like, with you guys throughout the rest of the year, but, but thank you for, like, teaching me and helping me learn everything I know and preparing me for, like the next grade of school.
They know that for their colleagues, it has not been easy either. However, there is great hope that soon everything will return to normal.
Take a hold of every opportunity you have. Like, for example, I didn't really think I was going to be here doing REAP as much because I really thought all the outside, like, extracurricular stuff was just falling off during Corona. But, you know, my supervisor for REAP at David Douglas, he reached out to me and, you know, we started doing the food stuff. I had fun with all my friends and things, got to connect to some people who I didn't get to see I can't speak my bad, for a while. So yeah, it was really fun.
Oh, to the students, I would say, just try to keep your head up. I know you're not doing so good. A lot of other people aren't doing so good. You just got to keep going.
Hope and optimism are the key to overcoming any challenge that arises, and our youth are an example of this. For our student leaders at REAP, everything is possible when they use their voice to speak up for change, working collaboratively to identify gaps, creating solutions, and implementing policies on a local and state level for the good of their peers. Visit the REAP website at reapusa.org to learn how you can help support developing student leaders.